wait, do podcasts have cold opens?
Welcome to my twisted mind.
That's okay.
You do need like a cool thing to say at the beginning every time.
We're back.
Oh, like we're back.
Like we're back?
We're back for the first time ever in purely audio form. I'm Ailish, and I'm a cartoonist and an illustrator.
I am Claire. I am a painter, illustrator, and content creator.
Hey, my name is Jack. I'm an illustrator and a YouTuber.
Hi guys, I'm Nick. I'm an animator and illustrator.
Hi guys, I'm Jane, and I'm an illustrator, animator, character designer, gamer, e-girl. Delete that.
That's good. Don't leave that.
No,
Okay,
donate to
so
Jane's Patreon.
Today we will be answering the questions that you guys left for us on Twitter and on the YouTube community. We're going to pick some of the ones that interested us most, and we will be doing this again. Without any further ado, we can just dive in.
Well, the fun thing about this is the first episode of the Subjectively podcast.
Yeah. We're testing it out. We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll have weekly podcasts for you guys moving forward, in addition to the weekly videos. So look forward to that. Thank you to those of you who were requesting a podcast.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And we'll definitely grow into it. So maybe if it's 2022 or something and you're trying to get into our wildly successful podcast and you're like, where do I start? Maybe skip ahead 20 episodes. That tends to be how these things go.
Skip until we're good.
The first episode is going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going great already.
It's going to be epic. Okay, want to get into questions?
No.
Who would like to read our first question?
I'll do it. So, should we read the names? Because
Yes.
Big Money Caillou from
So
Twitter asks,
Caillou.
do y'all think it's necessary for an artist to get a degree? I'm pretty sure we can all unanimously say no.
No.
That's a big
it's
question
not.
for the first question.
Yeah, I feel like that's the number one question that everyone has when they're interested in art and they follow people, professional artists, because there's such a feeling that you need to have a good degree to do anything professionally. And while I personally can say that I got a lot of value out of art school, I don't think the degree is necessary at all.
Yeah, building off of what Jack was saying, I don't really think any of us think you need a degree. What's important isn't the degree itself. A degree can be helpful sometimes because theoretically, you go to an art school, you pick up new skills, you become more receptive to critique, you can think about art in different ways, but what's important to getting into the art industry isn't the education, it's your skill and your discipline as an artist, your ability to create bodies of work and complete projects, have goals and meet them.
Yeah, and especially now, there are so many industry professionals who offer classes for way less than going to a university or a private art school.
Yeah, totally.
Or a public art school.
Or a public art school, the only public art school in the United States of America.
Which is coincidentally where we all met.
Oh, that's true. I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know it was the only
Yeah,
one.
we met. Sorry.
I didn't know that.
So what we're saying, even though we do have degrees, it's definitely not necessary, and you can definitely save yourself a lot of money by using various other resources to get, another kind of education. And I think the most valuable thing that happened at art school for me were the critiques and some of the connections we had from professors also, but just being able to be in a community of artists, which you could also do online or locally, is the number one thing that helped me to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the most valuable thing I got from art school is the people that I met. Obviously, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my experience at art school. But, like Claire was saying, that you don't need to pay to go to an art school to meet people. And especially now with the internet, I mean, I'm sure everyone watching this knows this, that you can meet people, you can find communities, people who share your interests, people who want to follow the same career path, and people who can give you advice and expand your experiences, so that you can, really experience new things and have those new experiences that help you grow as a person, help you grow as an artist, help you grow as a professional. And I think that's really what's most important.
Yeah, there are pros and cons to each, decision. It's like to pursue a degree or to not pursue a degree. But the bottom line is that to be an artist, and to be an artist professionally, it's like not explicitly necessary to go for the degree. You see professionals saying all the time that they always, like, everyone has their own artistic journey and their own professional journey. And I think that that's really true.
Yeah, I think it sort of just depends on a bunch of factors. But I think that personally, I can say that I benefited because I needed the structure, especially because early on in my art school career, I was so bad. And I was really bad up until I honestly feel like at least senior year. And then I started to get a little bit better. And it was just sort of a necessary thing because if I went from where I was the end of high school just and tried to be self-taught, I would have had a really, really hard time. But I also think there's a huge benefit to just hunkering down and giving yourself school on your own through watching videos and just being like doing all the drawing challenges that people do and stuff like that. And that's a good way to build a portfolio and just get better and just have like an end goal in mind.
Yeah, the structure is a really good point. I feel like I was kind of in a similar boat where before I came to mass art and had drawing homework constantly, I think I drew like one piece a month. And I mean, you're really not going to get better if you draw Homestuck fan art once a month.
That's definitely true.
It definitely
drawn at
helps
least twice
me.
a month.
I was just going to say that there will be situations where it may actually be necessary to have a degree to get into a studio or, I don't know, people for some reason have this wild obsession that a degree equals, like, you're instantly ready for this job. Like the employer, it's like you need to have a degree and that means that you will be good at this job. And like, that's totally not true. I don't know, check out like studios and like see what their requirements are, and some of them are just high school graduation certificates, like some of them are just portfolio. I don't know, but the most important thing really is just portfolio and the work you put out, and also your character and your personality. Like if you mesh well with them, it's usually going to work out for the better.
Yeah, a lot of places will say, like, so-and-so degree or equivalent experience.
Yeah.
And, if you've been working on webcomics for 10 years, that... I don't want to say it's the same as a BFA, but, like...
Probably better than a BFA in most cases, honestly.
So the Huster has a BFA in webcomic design and publication.
I don't know, let me ask him.
Okay.
What's his name?
Oh, Andrew Hussey.
Andrew Hussey.
I was like, who the fuck
The
is
Huster?
Huster?
That's good.
Yeah, and
I know most people listening are Homestuck fans.
the other thing is, if you're someone like me and you go to an art school or you have this kind of structure forced on you where it feels like you need to join the workforce and get a secure job with a company or something like that, and that doesn't appeal to you, the beautiful thing about a career in art is that you can start a career for yourself. You can start a business for yourself. You can start a name for yourself, especially with social media. Really don't take that for granted. As artists living in 2020, 2019, we have so many resources available to us that it is very possible for an artist to make a living working for themselves. And that can be harder for some people than getting a job, and it could be easier for some people than finding a job. But if you know yourself well, and that's something I think that a college experience is invaluable for, is learning about yourself, having that kind of development of self-awareness, but not exclusive to college. You can develop that self-awareness in almost any situation. But if you have that self-awareness that I need to be able to work for myself, or I don't think I could work for a company no matter what they do, you can figure that out for yourself and then sort of form your path from there and plan your future accordingly.
Yeah, I'm sure we could have a whole episode just about this topic.
This is a big question.
I was going to ask if we could do that.
So maybe for now we can agree to move on.
Yeah,
and
you're probably right.
Because we could definitely come back to this.
Oh yeah, okay, so in conclusion, you don't need a degree. You could get a degree.
If you can afford it, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But on that note, Jack, I think that's like the point you just made is the perfect transition into this question. What motivated everyone's from the South. What motivated y'all? What motivated y'all to make the Subjectively channel in the first place? Was it like a group decision that was thoughtfully planned out, or were you guys just like, hey, want to make a video with me?
So
I remember.
Oh boy.
I remember very vividly exactly when Subjectively was first thought up.
Conceived.
Jack
Jack and I
a
were
beautiful
in
baby.
the Stop and Shop near our college apartment, reflecting on a conversation we had had recently as a group. All of us were living together as roommates, about the best and worst shiny Pokemon. And it was a discussion. It was like an hour of looking through a list of all of the shiny Pokemon and talking about which Pokemon were the best, which shinies were the best. And so as we were grocery shopping, Jack was like, we could just record this. We have these conversations all the time. We could just make a YouTube channel out of this. Because the other thing we were doing at that point in time was watching a lot of story time YouTubers. And a lot of it was not super sophisticated content, to be frank. And so we were kind of realizing you could, there's a lot of popular content on YouTube that seemed kind of low effort. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we can make a channel and take it a step further and have these artistically inclined conversations.
It was almost exactly, hey, want to make a video with me? I remember because I said that to Claire, and then when I got home,
And then Nick was there. Only Nick.
no, Ailish was there
I
too.
was
I
there.
think.
Oh, I thought it was just Nick.
No, okay, so
I was there first. I remember.
Yeah.
I
from
was
my
alone.
perspective, we had been watching all these videos that no one was particularly fond of. And then I came home one day and you were like, want to make a YouTube channel? And I was like, okay.
That's exactly what you said. I think.
I remember Nick and I were
remember.
both kind of like, I mean, we could.
Yeah, that was pretty much the general consensus. Was like, I remember at that point, Nick was saying I was being very Kramer-esque because I was like trying to delve into all of these very like obscure markets for my art. I remember I made a deviant art for adoptables because
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
was like
You were scheming.
I was
You were
like
scheming
I
quite a
was
bit.
like getting
You
my
Summer-
can't
fingers.
fake shit like that
I
either.
think
Summer
all,
2018.
all of us were kind of in that phase. Was it right after we graduated?
I think it was,
Or we
yeah,
were
it was.
preparing
It was
to
the summer
graduate.
after everyone except for Jimbo, we had all just graduated.
Yeah, and so, you can kind of get lost, kind of going back to our earlier question, right after you graduate, and if you don't get a job right away and that's what you thought was going to happen, it's kind of scary because
Well,
you have your
but-
loans kicking in.
But the other thing is that I did have a job at the time. My first, I guess, I don't know if you can consider this a real artist job, but I was working for a YouTube channel.
That is now defunct.
Well, anyway, I worked for this YouTube channel called Dabacab, and he.
Do you want to name drop Dabacab?
I mean, it's fine. Check out Dabacab
It's
on
raw.
YouTube.
It's raw on.
I don't think that channel exists anymore. He has a different YouTube channel. But anyway, I was making thumbnails, and that was the first time I realized, it was before I had the idea to make my own YouTube channel, but that was when I realized just how much money there was in creating a YouTube channel. And this guy, he did not give, it's not that he didn't give a shit about the channel. It's just he didn't have any personal investment in the channel. It was literally, he was taking people's submitted clips from Overwatch and Fortnite games and
Oh my god.
and making them into like compilation videos. It was like most epic diva kills, all these things. And he was having me do these thumbnails, and oh my god, was he so particular about the way these thumbnails needed to look. There were standards that needed to be upheld, numbers of views that the thumbnails needed to bring in, and I'm sitting there.
How many boobies needed to be in the thumbnails?
The boobies were, it really went back and forth on the boobies because
Portals.
but there were portals were very important.
Arrows. I remember
Arrows were
Arrows.
important. There were like all these different like emotions. You needed to show faces. In Fortnite, it was like you got to show the different weapons. But anyway, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, if the most important thing about these videos is the thumbnail, why the hell aren't I doing this? Like, why shouldn't I just try it? Like, give it a shot. make my own content. But as it turns out, I'm still not great at making thumbnails. I think I've made like 4, like, because I make most of the thumbnails for these videos that are YouTube videos. And I
think they're good.
Thank you. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what makes a good YouTube thumbnail.
You know,
but the point
sometimes our thumbnails go through like 4 or 5 drafts on a video. That's
sometimes
important.
thumbnails take a longer time than. But I think my most successful thumbnail is that Spectrubs thumbnail, which took me about 3 minutes.
It's really captivating.
Should we just talk about the time that we recorded the first video?
Yes.
5 times.
Jane, would you like to recount that?
God.
I barely remember it because the only thing I remember is we went to my parents' house. It was summer, right? Yeah, it was summer because that's when it started. It was very early summer.
All right, so we were at Jane's parents' house in the summer,
and we were just sitting in my bed. I think we had Jack's phone.
No, we
sitting
rented
on the mountain
a
with pillows.
recorder.
Oh yeah, that was a bad idea.
You rented a
Oh my god, I
mic.
rented a recorder from
Mass
Mass
Art.
Art, and it was. I'm so sorry, Mass Art, but it was shit.
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
You guys think our audio quality is bad now.
When we started, it was bad.
So we recorded it. I think it got lost or corrupted or something, or maybe it just didn't even record in the first place. And we were so excited to get back to the apartment and listen to it on a nice pair of speakers, and it just wasn't there.
And it was really long. It was like a 2-hour recording.
Yeah.
Because it was a top 10, and we were tearing.
We spent so
every
long
Pokemon
talking
in
about
one.
Raticate and how much we hate
Eradicate.
There was almost-
That was so controversial.
They all kind of bleed into each other.
Yeah, I can talk about when Jack first approached me with Subjectively, and we were talking about absolutely railing into League of Legends designs.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
As our first, because we were really. This was actually before a lot of new cool characters were introduced.
It was also before you guys were like sincerely
Yeah.
dedicated to League too, right?
Yeah, we didn't actually play it super consistently.
Yeah, I think the newest character was Zaya and Rakan.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember Jane and I were looking at them.
I think it was going to be a lot more cynical in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was a lot more cynical in the beginning.
Well,
It was.
yeah.
I think we've done a good job trying to move away from that because we don't want to like sit here and poo-poo on other like professional
I love
artists.
poo-poo.
Designs Jane loves
Poo-poo's great.
poo-poo.
Yeah, I love Popo.
But
Well, our original intention, we didn't intend to do the redesign thing. We were just, the original concept was just, these suck. Here's why. And then while I was editing it, I found myself making changes in Photoshop to illustrate the things that we thought we could change about the designs while we were talking about it. And then I was like, oh, here's how we can incorporate a visual representation of our knowledge as artists. We can redesign the Pokemon. And then by the time we got to like our third Pokemon redesign video, a 3rd generation worst video,
We had a format.
we were actually doing it in a format. We knew that we couldn't do top 10 either because that was just way too many, so we switched it to 5.
absurd.
But yeah, it was very improvised. It was no thought.
We've
went
come
into
a
it.
long way, huh?
Yes, we really have. It's only been just a little over a year at this point now.
So speaking of the first episode, which we recorded
Three times.
which we
3
recorded,
times we did it.
which we
Not
I
recorded
lost the second recording.
3
Not
times. It
my
was
birthday,
getting very taxing at that point to go over this again and again. So there were already some tensions. This question coming from Simply Sigh. Do you guys ever argue over creative ideas? And the side question, do you guys think you'll ever make a podcast? So
No.
to the second part,
No.
yes. And to the first part, also yes. We actually lost a whole recording once when we were discussing Detective Pikachu
Oh, yeah.
because it
Oh my
got
Now we just have to
because
scrap it.
it got too ugly.
Yeah,
Jack
like
was
the
going
energies
sicko
were so
mode.
bad. Me and Jack
It
argued
was
for
just-
so long.
I don't understand.
Jack was so hurt, and I was like, "It's for kids. It's okay."
It really was not great. But in that very first episode on the 3rd try, there was also, you guys know Raticate?
Have you ever heard of this Pokemon?
Shitmon.
So
It's fine.
Alish and I
Alright,
had
I'm
the
stopping
stance that
recording.
Raticate was fine, but I don't know if it was just because it was the 3rd episode, but I felt like Jack's feelings were genuinely hurt that we thought Raticate was
I was heartbroken.
Honestly, I can stand with my brother. That was disappointing to hear your friends say that.
No,
But it turned into
We
such
thought it
a
was our
thing.
Claire defends Raticate to this day.
It's fine.
It makes my
fine.
skin crawl.
Really? It was the first gen.
I really don't think we have arguments over creative ideas outside of that kind of stuff, though.
No,
Not very often.
because it's
Little
like
stuff.
it's such a
Not usually.
yeah. I mean, that was such a insignificant thing, and I mean, it's true, and I stand by it. Raticate.
I mean, you're wrong, but
I
I've
won't admit,
accepted
but
it.
It's
It
80% bit.
It got
Yeah.
so bad that I was like, I wanted to stop talking about it because it got so heated. And we were recording, and I literally was like, la, 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 so that we couldn't use the audio, so we would stop talking about it. And Jack got real mad at me.
I
He
remember-
got sincerely angry. He was like a stern mother. He was like, Ailish. I was like,
I don't
"You're
even.
right, I'm sorry."
I don't even remember that.
I remember you editing the audio from that and thinking to myself, oh my god, should we not do this? Because you sounded so
It was
mad.
way too subjective.
So anyway, we persevered, and it doesn't happen very often. When it does happen, it's surprisingly often in reference to Pokemon, which is like the one thing we all like, but not very often. Do we disagree?
I have
Significantly.
I have come around to Togetic. I really like Togetic
I
now.
love Togetic,
Togetic was originally on our Gen 2 worst list, but
which I also protested.
yeah, I don't know why. I like Togetic.
What's the next question?
Are you having a good day?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had an okay day.
it was a good day.
No,
yeah, I would say it was
Sad Fox
definitely
wanted
a
to
good
know.
day.
I didn't really have a good day, Sad Fox. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I can't really talk about it.
No.
Oh no.
Let's just say I'm not Gen Z. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nick took a bad nap.
I
Oh, he did take a
I
bad
took a bad
nap.
nap.
That's why you're so edgy right now.
Yeah, we were
Fuck
watching
you.
we were watching kitten and puppy videos, and he just passed out.
Wait,
I'll be
hold
better
on.
tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. Sad Fox, how are you?
Let us know down in the comments. How are you doing today? Be sure to smash that
Podcasts work.
like button and let us know how your day is going. All right, Jimbo. This next question's got Jimbo written all over it.
I love this shit.
But
Carriana Crosby, one day ago, asked, "What are all your zodiac signs?" Well, I'm a Libra, and that's that.
no, and
She can't decide.
And Libra is, I think it's, and being a Libra, you are very into fairness and, like, justice, but you can't fucking make a decision if your life depended on it, and you would do anything in the world for someone else to make a decision for you. That happens with me, where I use a lot of randomizers and, like, generators sometimes.
Which could be a great
I'm
prompt.
really enjoying D&D December, so I just slapped my arm. I'm sorry.
It's a Libra thing.
in her arm.
But the D&D December challenge requires you to roll a D12, and I'm loving that. Because I don't have to choose the class. And Libras are also very all about love.
Aww.
Love, love, love. And my rising sign, are we doing this? Or
Yes,
If you
Yeah,
want to.
how hard are we going? What do the stars say we should
I'll
do?
bring up
So
my chart.
we all have printed out charts of our exact like moment of birth star alignment, courtesy of Jane's mom.
Beautiful.
Jane's mom has this awesome program from like
for it.
15 years ago.
But yeah, we all know our rising and moon signs, and like way deep into the I don't know, like the houses and stuff.
Jack and I have a compatibility chart actually.
Yep, I have one with Nick. This is
a
revealing
spoiler
that
also.
we are
Wait.
and
Subjectively Jack and subjectively Claire are dating? Wait. Subjectively Nick and subjectively Jane are dating?
Oh, answering
I
someone
heard
else's
there's an
question.
intern involved.
Scandal with the intern?
There's controversy.
I'm so sorry. Just to cut to the chase, for anyone who cares about astrology, my sun sign is Libra, my moon sign is Taurus, and my rising is Gemini. All right, next.
I'll go next. Hi guys. I'm a Cancer. I was born in July. In the middle of July, to be precise.
Oh,
What does
thank
being a
you.
Cancer mean, Nick?
It means you cry a lot. You're moody, which I am.
Oh no.
And you're a homebody, which I guess I also am, but not
You're
as
a
much as
home
someone else
wrecker.
here.
Well, let's just say my
I don't wanna-
pedestal's very comfy.
Yeah. And then my rising is Aquarius, and my moon is also Aquarius. And Aquariuses are contrarian, and anti-authoritarian and edgy.
They're the weird guys.
They're
They're
edgy
emotional,
and-
right?
They're the edge
And
cast.
they're very emotional. I'm very emotional.
Nick cries at like cute like commercials sometimes.
I do
do.
too.
And
My
they-
moon sign's also
yeah.
Aquarius.
Which makes sense because I definitely empathize with sometimes being rude.
That's such a polite way to say that.
So yeah, and that's pretty much me. So if you ever notice that usually I say fuck you at least once during every Subjectively recording, that's like half ironic, half sincere. Most of
He
the time.
can't help it. It's his moon. His
Yeah,
moon told him.
It's my moon.
It's just part of
The
the.
stars
Yeah.
foretold it.
I am a Taurus, and my moon sign is Pisces, and I'm pretty sure my rising is Taurus. And that's why everyone always says that I'm the group mom.
It's
Which is really
confirmed.
not. I like to think of myself more as the group fun aunt.
Yeah.
With wine in hand. But
I'm the annoying cousin.
I want to be the
I'm
dog.
the hot dad.
And I don't know, I agree with that. I'm pretty stubborn and like fluffy at the same time because that's
Stubborn and fluffy.
stubborn and fluffy.
Like a
'Cause
bull.
That's like a
I'm
cute
so
bull
fluffy,
though.
I'm about to die.
It's like a I don't know, a Pisces thing to be like
You're really into dreams and like you're very much about like destiny and fate and stuff.
Did you just make that up on the
yes, I
spot?
did. When's the last time we talked about that?
I don't know. I'm an Aquarius. What can I say?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's I don't know. Like I feel like I try to be practical, and then I get swept up in like big dreams.
Claire, what's your deal?
So I am a Sagittarius, which means I'm going to cheat on my partners and run away to travel the world, I think. Jack can attest.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah, it
Carter
happens
does
a
it.
lot.
It's fucking annoying.
It happens a
I wake up and she's not there, and I'm like, I call her, and she's like, yeah, I'm in fucking Switzerland.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We can afford that.
I'm in Switzerland sleeping with hot guys.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm a free spirit. It's not really. It means I'm kind of future goal oriented. I like change. I like new experiences. Yeah, I don't relate to a lot of Sagittarius memes, fun Instagram pages. It's really unfortunate. I wish I could be like a cool
Slow walkers.
Sagittarius girl, but I just never relate to them.
Well, that just means that you're more in touch with your moon sign.
what's
Well,
your moon
that's
sign?
true. My moon sign, as I said, is Aquarius, which I do relate to. It's
That makes sense.
whatever Nick was saying. It's emotionally unstable, kind of, but also
You're like emotionally stunted.
no.
You're
It's
not
all
in
about
in
like your
general.
internal world is very emotional, but you don't always relate that in an extroverted way. I think.
I think my rising sign is Virgo, but I can't forget if it's.
Oh, that makes sense too.
I don't know what Virgo means. I'll look it up.
It means you're
Virgos
organized.
are like the
Virgos are very organized and don't like to really project their feelings publicly.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess we're on me now.
Speaking.
Oh wait.
No, I think
And
we're
a trait
we
of
got everyone,
Sagittarius-
right?
Wait, who was talking?
No, we're
Who
good.
was that?
All I hear is the MGM.
You're so far
line.
above us.
Oh, I guess we're up to me. So you want to know what a Leo is? Well, take Deadpool. All right. Mix in a little Apollo, the Greek god.
Where's Star-Lord though?
Throw some Star-Lord in there. Maybe a little Yugimoto.
I would say Joey.
I don't think Yugi's a
You're right. You're right. Joey.
Kaiba's a Leo.
Kaiba. No,
Yugi-
Kaiba's not
Yugi's
a
a
Leo.
Gemini.
Kaiba's a Libra.
Kaiba's a Libra.
Yeah, Yugi's a Gemini.
Okay.
Throw Charizard in there too.
Jack, what does it mean to be a
You guys remember? I don't know if we have an episode where we drew ourselves as a Scooby Doo gang, and Jack didn't want to be the leader, but he I don't know. He did not want to be the
also
leader.
wanted to be the
It was the
leader.
most Leo move I've ever experienced from Jack.
It's just I am the leader. I just won't claim I don't have to make a big deal about it.
Jack's definitely a Leo.
Someone else is the leader.
Reluctant hero.
No, Leos, according to all the memes, are loyal and fiery, very flamboyant. Like there are a lot of like Hades gifts for Leo from the Disney Hercules.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They like the spotlight.
They like the
Visually, I
spotlight.
feel like
Maybe a little cocky.
But very interestingly, my moon and rising signs are both Cancer, which are actually more, I think, indicative of my actual personality, because I am like a super homebody. I literally
the biggest one I
work
know.
from home. I spend like the entire day in one room, and I love it.
Yeah, he's by himself because I'm traveling the world.
Yeah, Claire's always in Switzerland.
There's in Paris.
And there's a lot of emotion involved in Cancer too, and I think the way my Leo and Cancer signs combine, really, I am very emotional on the inside, but I almost never show it on the outside. And the best part is if you could combine two imagery symbols on the zodiac wheel. Lion and crab are pretty much the coolest ones, so you kind of put those together and you imagine something really cool, and that's me.
Jack, imagine a human that's also a horse.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, but just imagine
pretty
I have
awesome.
fire and water powers, so...
So do I. Wait, no,
Imagine a
Aquarius is
jar
an
of
air sign,
water.
right? That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Aquarius
those
is
are our star
actually
signs.
Not
Mine are the best.
water.
Yeah, that
Wait,
was
Jack,
way more in depth
Jack.
than you were expecting, I'm guessing.
Jack, I need you to just say what that word is on your star chart where you're like
Oh,
you have like a really
Wait, the square
rare
chiron?
sign because yes, that.
yeah.
That.
James' mom freaked out. I have a very unique astrological chart.
Yeah, it has to be special.
I don't
Leo.
listen. I'm just saying. I'm Harry Potter meets Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I think star signs are really fun. Personally, I'm not like super into them. I think it's a really fun, cool thing to look out into the universe and think there's some kind of, in whatever way, big or small, like cosmic destiny for you. It's just a nice thought.
Plus, you have elemental powers.
Yeah.
It is kind of comforting. I know a lot of people will give like their OCs signs that are appropriate, like to help try and flesh them out. So it's kind of a cool way to be like,
I
what
didn't know
traits
people
do
did
apply?
That makes so much sense. That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes. And then it's also really fun to talk about which Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's true too.
signs.
You know what's also really cool? We have every single type of sign as our sun sign. Like Ailish is
Oh.
the
Oh,
earth
that is cool.
and the air.
Oh, sweet.
Nick's the water.
Oh, that's
and
why we have
Jack's
such
air
good
and fire.
chemistry.
That's
Oh,
why
We're very
Oh,
balanced.
that's cool.
There's
I
so
like
much
that.
going on.
I would like to rapid fire questions.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
You can just
That
go
sounds
down
good.
the line. Okay, ready? Favorite TF2 class? The lady who speaks.
Miss Pauling.
That's mine. Yeah, Miss Pauling.
Wait, the announcer or Miss Pauling?
I wanted to
Check.
say the announcer, but I meant Miss Pauling.
Pyro, because I think she is
Whoa!
a powerful character.
Yo!
A demo man. He's super fun to play.
To play heavy, and then overall favorite probably Sniper,
Also, Scout's the hottest.
and Scout's the hottest.
Sniper's the
Jack-
hottest.
Soldier.
Nice.
I mean, Soldier's character is probably the least fun, but he's the most fun to play.
All right. Favorite childhood cartoons. The first cartoon that I have a memory of watching was Pokemon, honestly. So I'll say that for a really quick. SpongeBob is also a huge contender.
The first thing that came to mind was Sailor Moon. But yeah, also Pokemon I watched a lot. Rented that from Blockbuster so many times.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind was the Spectacular Spider-Man. There were a ton of cartoons I liked watching as a kid, but Spectacular Spider-Man was the first show that I got into, like, and actually like followed the developing plot every week, and I was like excited for the next development in the story. So I'll say Spectacular Spider-Man.
I'm gonna say either Yu-Gi-Oh or Avatar. I was really into both of those.
I was really into regular show.
Oh yeah,
That's a good answer.
that's a good one.
Good show.
All right, next question.
Baby Yoda.
That's it.
Thoughts? He's cute. I think it's a really good example of how you take a gross, ugly thing like Yoda and make it into a beloved thing. Because
Yoda fucks.
no, this was a personal controversy we had. I was the only person out of anyone I ever asked if I don't think Yoda fucks. Everyone else thinks he fucks.
Yoda fucks.
I guess he fucks. Next.
Is that the thumbnail?
I think it's funny looking. I don't care that much
It doesn't
about
tickle your soul?
Star Wars, but I kind of like it in just for the fact that it reminds me of the IKEA monkey wearing the
Yeah.
coat.
Yeah.
They're kindred spirits, I think.
I don't know. I saw this meme where he's like sitting, or they are sitting in the spaceship with Boba Fett, and it like starts.
Oh my god.
It's not Boba Fett.
Boba
Oh, okay, it's
Fett.
not Boba Fett. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
the baby presses like, and then it presses a little switch and it starts playing music, and people like put different songs in, and then the Mandalorian is like, "Don't do that," and the little baby's like, "I'm gonna do it anyway." So I don't know. It was kind of funny. I don't know. It was good. I don't know. He's cute. I like he's a puppet. I thought he was CGI
Character
at first,
design.
but he's a puppet, so that's cute.
Yeah, it's sick. He's a puppet.
I
More fun.
like him enough. I've never ever been able to get into Star Wars. But I like him. He's cute.
The Yoda fucks, Baby Yoda sucks.
That's
Hey, Baby
good.
Yoda?
I'm just being controlled.
Yaddle?
I don't know.
Awesome.
I honestly, if I had to put them in order, it would go Yaddle, Baby Yoda, regular Yoda. In terms of
Okay.
What the fuck is a yaddle?
Yaddle is the
It's
only
girl-
female.
Girl Yoda.
She's the only female of the
But
Yoda.
what is it
of
from?
Yoda's unnamed species. Probably some deep cut fucking novel from like 2003.
Where did you find out about it?
Jack told me about it.
Other than Pokemon, what are your favorite fandoms to draw / design for? I really don't draw that much fan art, and I never have. But lately, I have been enjoying writing fanfic for Miraculous Ladybug.
Yes,
That is so
Aylin.
good.
And it's such a
Yes.
good way to unwind, where I'm like, I'm just gonna like write a little story about these two tweens trying to hold hands. These superhero
I
tweens.
love that.
I've been really into Miraculous Ladybug lately.
I also don't draw a ton of fan art, I think, but my favorite series are Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem and Legend of Zelda. So pretty mainstream stuff. I really go like JRPGs.
Okay,
Digimon
nice
World
save.
4. Digimon World 4.
So, I mean, there are a ton of other franchises I love. As far as drawing in the style of, for a while it was Overwatch. I like designing Overwatch skins. Now, because I play League of Legends more than I play Overwatch, I draw fan art of League of Legends characters. I do rough concepts for my own ideas for characters, and I think I posted this one on Instagram. I did a rough redesign for Shyvana and what I think Shyvana could look like if they redid her. I enjoy doing stuff like that.
I don't very frequently do fan art. If I do fan art, it's usually for like a movie that I really like. Like I did fan art for The Lighthouse, and I did fan art for Nightcrawler. I did a lot of fan art for Nightcrawler when I first saw it like 5 years ago. I don't know if anyone cares about those movies. But if I see a movie that I really like, I just have to draw one of the characters from it, and then I get it out of my system. I don't tend to draw fan art too frequently. I've drawn a bit of League fan art. I haven't posted very much of it, but
Aatrox is cool.
yeah, I drew Aatrox. That was fun.
I think someone did some League fan art recently.
Yeah, I can actually talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aw.
so I usually actually don't ever draw fan art.
So I guess we're just a bunch of people who really don't draw fan art.
I definitely get inspired by really weird stuff. But that's like a whole different thing. I did draw Rakan though for Claire's birthday.
He's so hot.
So I did draw
Print it out
League
in a
fan art.
frame.
It looks I was
It's
happy with
great.
it. It looks
It,
fun.
it looks awesome. We have it put up on our little windowsill.
I would have it on my bedside table if I had more space on that table. Also on my desk if I had more space on my desk.
Sagittarius.
It's amazing.
Am I right?
Maybe
I was just gonna say
Virgos.
that.
I just want to cheat
Maybe
on Jack with
someday.
Rakan from League of Legends. I don't think that's too much to ask.
It's easy.
Can
You
we
will
put
cheat
it on
with
a
him
shirt?
after those.
It's just in big black letters. I just want to cheat on Jack with Rakan.
I like that.
Comment if you want merch with that exact phrase.
Comment
I
if
cheat on
you
Jack.
won our merch giveaway like 2 years ago but never responded to our message.
Never,
so
never
you're still
cashed
waiting
in.
for
One
your
of the
t-shirt?
3 people that I contacted for a t-shirt.
Do you eat the art sometimes? When it's done, of course.
No, I can.
So
I'm
much-
sorry. I'm breaking the order. I don't eat the art. No, my
so
art's
much
mostly
sillier than I was expecting.
my art's mostly digital. So what I would have to do is I'd have to download it
Eat your
onto
iPad.
an edible USB, and it's like a fruit gummy. And
A
then-
dot
Fruit
EDB.
gummy?
Oh, the food gummy
Fruit
meme.
gummy. I love that meme, Jane. You take that
That's a
back.
meme?
You take that condescending.
The food gummy meme.
Pikachu wants fruit gummy.
I have no idea what you guys are talking
I'll
about.
find it for you.
It's a picture of Dynamax Pikachu, or I'm sorry, it's Gmax Pikachu, and he says, "I want." And then the bottom text is fruit gummy.
Here, Nick. This is
It's
the
really
first one
funny.
I
The more I explain it, the funnier
That's
it's
a
gonna get.
screenshot of League of Legends.
Don't eat the art unless it's a Pikachu cake. And if it's a Pikachu cake, you can eat that. That's art and food.
Alish ate that.
It was good.
I ate that. Yeah, I guess we did eat the art.
We ate that. That was another question we got. Somebody asked how long it took to take to make the Pikachu cake, and 3 hours. I don't know.
Pretty good.
It was a really cool process. Alish
That's
froze
true,
all
we
these
did eat
pieces
the
of
art.
Rice Krispies, and it was cool.
And it tasted good too.
It was good.
Want to talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh one now?
Yes. Okay. Someone asked. I saw it at some point. What's your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card? Aylish, you want to start?
I do not have a favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Can you? What is one Yu-Gi-Oh card you can say?
Well, I don't want like an obvious one. I want to say like a cool, obscure one. Black Hole.
Okay, well,
Dark Hole.
it's Dark Hole and fuck you.
Okay, that was pretty embarrassing, actually.
So I absolutely have a favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card, and it is Blackwing Oster, the South Wind.
Yeah.
It's just like a little chicken that flies. I
thought
love
it was
it.
Gale. I thought Gale was her favorite.
I do like Gale, Blackwing, Gale the Whirlwind a lot. I have a Blackwing deck, but I don't know why. I just really like Oster, and for some reason, well, subjectively was very small. I was kind of supporting it by having this job at a medical cosmetics place, and I had to get up early to make my commute, and I would wake up before Jack, so I got into the habit of drawing like a little chicken on a sticky note every morning just to say good morning to Jack. And it was an Oster, and I labeled it as an Oster every single morning.
That's my iPad cover right now.
So
She
he
took
could
all of those drawings and turned it
recognize
into
it.
an iPad cover. It just says Oster all over it.
Yeah. So I love Oster.
And now any like small simplified chick,
That's
like
an
a
Oster.
little yellow bird with like 3 hairs on its head is just Oster.
Yeah, it's an Oster.
That's an Oster. So I would probably have to say that my favorite card is Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. He was one of the first cards I actually purchased for myself when I was actually getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! For real, and I still have him in my Dragon deck. He's just really pretty, and he has a very easy to understand effect that I think is still very good, despite how complicated the meta is and how difficult it can be to use him sometimes.
Oh, I like, okay, wow. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't know, life got in the way.
So
My
sad.
favorite card used to be
Oh, they updated the rules for tag duels.
Oh, we should play.
Just to
My-
let you guys know.
my favorite card is Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend.
Yes.
Is that the one that nukes the board? What does that one do?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to
We were
read some
playing
text.
so wrong years ago. It was the most fun I've ever
That
had.
is a good
It was
card,
really
though.
fun.
Yeah, Black Dragon's probably my favorite card.
Wow.
Its effect is really fucking good. It's still a rock. It's really cute. The art's really nice. I think it's at least a super rare. It's shiny and it's fucking awesome.
That's a
Great card.
Good card. Good choice.
Yeah, so we'll leave it on this one because we talked about we started with like a good art question, and then we talked about a lot of nothing, and now we're back to a really good art question.
Oh, we're back?
Oh, we're back.
The Black and Black.
So, do each of you have a specific piece of media that inspired your art style early on? I was really racking my brain while you guys were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I don't understand what you're saying when you talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway. So not directly, but I will say, I think Powerpuff Girls had a pretty big influence on me. Craig McCracken and Lauren Faust are two of my favorite artists, and I just like the way that they stylize things. And like, I'm not gonna say that Butch Hartman is one of my favorite artists, but I watched a lot of Fairly Odd Parents, and watching those cartoons again now, like with what I know about art and the way I draw, I'm like, oh my god, that's why I drew hands like that for so long, was because Timmy Turner has hands like that. So it's not so much like I saw it and I was like, wow, that's beautiful art, that's amazing. It's more like I was 8 and I saw it and I was like, I can do that. So it's more kind of like an absorption thing, like an osmosis thing, than like a inspiration thing. I think if it's like an inspiration thing, then stuff like Chowder, I think I took a lot from, and Powerpuff Girls in like stylization and like shape stuff. It's very long-winded, but that is my answer.
So I mentioned already I really like the Final Fantasy series. When I was born, my older siblings were becoming teenagers already, so I kind of grew up watching my older brother play on the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8, and I loved them. So as I was getting older and I started playing video games, I was still playing them, and the main concept artist, even up to like Final Fantasy 14 and I think 15, the ones that are coming up now, are the main artist is Yoshitaka Amano, and he has this really intricate, detailed, high fantasy art style that I've always really liked. So overall, like lifelong, I think probably Yoshitaka Amano. I just loved that concept art, and it made me want to do concept art. And then I would say I had a pretty bad Homestuck phase in high school, and there was this one artist that contributed sometimes. I think her Tumblr name was Chi Noir. I think. It's been a while.
Chibi Noir?
Chi Noir. Not Chibi.
Chibi Noir, that sounds awesome.
Chi Noir, I could be wrong, but she had this like watercolor, glassy looking digital style that I pretty much ripped off for a while, but I really loved how it looked, and it definitely influenced how I did digital art for a long time until I came to art school and started doing oil painting, and then my art was more oil painterly, looking at like the art history, oil painting canon.
So I think that probably my most art-defining piece of media would be TF2, Team Fortress 2. When I was a kid, I read a lot of Calvin and Hobbes, and I think that influenced my drawing early on, but I think what I can accredit most of my style to now is TF2, and it's funny what you said, Ailish, about you look at your character's hands and you say, oh, that's why I draw hands like that, because I think the exact same way about TF2. I have been giving my characters these very blocky, geometric hands that look like they were carved from a single piece of clay for years, and you know, I've been trying to actually use real human hands for reference now, but when I was in high school and I was actually developing my identity, thinking about art as a career rather than just something I like to do in math class, I looked at TF2 characters, and I think it was because they had this great way of translating two-dimensional art style into a three-dimensional world. So it was very easy for me to draw in that style in 2D on a piece of paper, and kind of and it still looked good. Like, I liked having that balance between anatomical, you know, believability and stylization. Like things like Timmy Turner, things like Fairly Odd Parents and stuff, I never liked the way that looked because it was just too stylized for me. But TF2 was like that nice middle ground between stylized and, you know, feasibility, and I think I still take a lot of influence from that today.
That's such a tricky question to like dig deep into my brain.
Right?
I
It's
think
a good
the
question.
earliest thing I was inspired by, like knowingly that I was like, wow, that's so cool, was the behind the scenes of Spirit, that horse movie. And they were showing, like, them making storyboards and, like, designing the characters, and I thought that was awesome. After that, it's really fuzzy of what I was even drawing. I remember I would trace a lot of, like, Neopets and, like, Pokemon, because, like, I thought it was amazing that, like, oh, I can draw now if I just trace. Wow, this makes me sound like a shitty person.
I did the same
But
thing
being,
too.
like, a 7-year-old,
I did
like...
the same thing.
Yeah, I
I
think
really
everyone
wanted
did
to be able
that.
to draw like that, and I couldn't. But obviously I grew past that, and then I spent a lot of my middle school and high school career, holy my god, who am I? I spent that time on DeviantArt and Tumblr, and obviously being inspired and influenced by... I can't remember any names specifically, but definitely from like age like 11 to 13, I was just like bouncing off of whatever I liked, and that was the current inspiration.
So I don't really relate to what I liked a lot when I was a kid at all anymore. But my favorite movie when I was little was Toy Story,
You loved Mario
and I liked video games a
and
lot.
video games, and that's really
And I guess a
influential.
lot of like weird, specific 2D and 3D platformers affected my art, and still to this day. But like I drew really gross stuff because I thought it was funny for a really long time, and I definitely don't relate to that side of me anymore. I liked Regular Show a lot, and I definitely liked like cynical cartoons for a while. But now I'm more into a lot of like stuff that's influenced by like Bauhaus design and stuff like that, and I really like simplification, abstraction, and I'm really into a bunch of modern editorial illustrators and animators. I really like this animator Nicholas Menard, and he definitely influenced me
That guy's great.
pretty strongly during art school. A lot of his films from like the past 5 years are really, really good. And yeah, and just like modern illustrators and stuff like that. And like I like looking at posters. I like looking at fashion a lot. I like looking at posters a lot. I like looking at a lot of period clothes, and I might just design characters straight up around that. Stuff like that. That's what I'm into now. And then when I was younger, I was into Flapjack and Mario and Elemental Powers.
Elemental powers were super influential on
and
you.
fucking Buzz and Woody and all this weird shit. So, yeah.
All right. Do we want to wrap it up?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you
If
for
you
your
listen to this whole thing,
questions.
leave us a comment just saying that you did. I would like to get a tally of how many people watched
Made
this
it to
whole
the
thing.
end.
It's impressive.
Ooh, we should give them a code word.
Yeah.
If you made it to the end, include the word.
As the code, just leave the lead character you think we named based on all the information you've gained about us personally.
Ooh, that's
yeah,
good.
I would
That's
love
so
Oh,
good.
it's kind of obvious because I already said I wanted to cheat on Jack with Rickon from
Well,
League
that
of
doesn't even
Legends.
mean necessarily.
Oh, well, he is.
Okay, well, you know what?
Guess everyone else,
Answer
though.
for everyone else except Claire.
Anyways,
So,
Guess
we've
my
been
other
saying this for
names.
years. We're back. Well, guess what? I'll say it again for the 10th time. We're gone.
We're gone.
Bye, subjectivists. Have a good day.
Good
Check
night.
out our sponsor, MeUndies.
No. Bye. No.
Okay, good night, guys. Thanks for watching.